Welcome to First Swing, a Fourth Wing podcast.
I'm Brianna, and this is the end of my Iron Flame journey.
Oh boy. And I'm Kendra, an experienced dragon rider, here to help this second year still. Well, we didn't get to the end of this school year, did we? We don't even know what school. What's even going on?
What is school?
What is this academy?
That's a really good point. It's December.
Yeah, so we're still in the second year.
Huh. We've really messed up the format of our podcast.
Yeah, how dare she end in the middle of a year?
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll figure out what we're doing on that in the next book. But just a quick note, this book contains explicit content, including swearing, sex, violence, and death, and so will this podcast. These chapters include
Major character death,
death, yes,
violence,
sure, and holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deep depression.
Deep depression.
Hi, Brianna from the future here, popping in really quick. I actually recorded myself live reading the end of Iron Flame. So if you have any interest in listening to a 2-minute clip of me freaking out a bit as I read the last 2 chapters of Iron Flame, you can find it over on our Discord. I always post the link to our Discord in the description of the episode. It's free. It's not a subscription or anything. You just click the link and you get taken to basically a group chat, and you can find the recording there. Now back to the rest of the episode.
Today we are discussing chapters 64, 65, and 66.
And that's the end of the book.
The last chapters of Iron Flame.
Yeah. You can tell I'm excited for you on it.
Last episode ended when Xaden was like, oh, the Venin are waiting for me. And yeah, him and Violet were walking together.
Yeah. Yeah. We should, maybe if we think about it at the end of this thing, we should talk a little bit more about why does he know? How does he know?
I mean, he does have mind reading powers.
Oh, that's true.
That could
Can he read
technically
the
explain
minds,
it all. He's also been having these dreams, so maybe the guy's been talking to him and
Just
saying,
just
this is
with
what's
her.
going to happen.
I mean, that was literally probably my thought, is that he knew they were coming because he, unlike Violet, realized that those were not dreams.
And
I mean, they're dreams, but
maybe he had tried to get
realized that there
intel
was.
out of them.
Maybe. I wonder if one's signet, if its mind works on a venin. Because when your signet's lightning,
it worked
lightning
on Jack.
works. Did he use his
Yeah, he told Violet he was doing that while he was doing it. He said,
on Jack?
or was it Noel?
Sorry, we're talking about his mind work, not his
Yeah.
shadows.
Wasn't he?
No, it was Dane who went up and touched Jack's and got the details.
So Xaden was only reading Nolan's mind?
Yeah.
To learn about.
But you're right though. You just pointed out that Dane did he did read Jack's mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, no, he could totally 100% have read the intentions. Well, I don't know, actually. I'm saying that, but I'm still not 100% sure. Could they have intense shields too? I'm not really sure. It could just be
I don't know,
dreams.
but there is a
It could just be
line
dreams.
that I highlighted that it just doesn't give us more information, but it kind of does.
It might give us more questions.
It gives us more questions.
Well, then in that case, we will go on. Chapter 64, the little blurb on the top says, you're going to love Violet. She's smart and stubborn. Reminds me a lot of you, actually. You just have to remember when you meet her, she's not her mother. And this is a recovered correspondence of Cadet Liam Murray to Sloane Murray.
This is so much worse now. Oh my god.
I know. Yeah, now that
she's not her mother. Yeah. And it's literally Sloane. Oh my god. I forgot that this was here.
For some reason, this time when I read this chapter, I had more grief than, not the first time I did, but the second 2 times I didn't so much. And then this time when I read it, I was like, wow, why is it hitting me again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected it to be so sad, but it was so sad.
I know. Okay. We have started with she asks him the question we all wanted to know. What do you mean they're waiting for you? And then Xaden says that's one of their teachers, the one who escaped Bresson. So that was that guy that we mentioned before, that escaped Bresson. And she's like, yeah, he was at the cliffs too.
We learned it's not a teacher. It's a general.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Which I
He
guess
does
the big
say it's
reveal.
one of the teachers, because they keep hearing this word sage, and maybe they're just thinking it's a sage, so it's a teacher.
Yeah.
But the general's the one they said, like, "We've never caught a general, so we don't know anything about them." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was waiting for what the big reveal was of this guy because they kept on being like, him. Like, I don't know, it kept on being really weird. But then it was like, but we know him, don't we? It's the one from the dreams.
Yeah.
It's the one from, like, I'm confused. Anyways, I guess the big reveal was that he was a general.
I guess so.
I guess.
And the fact that both Xaden and Violet have seen this guy's general looks, and don't know him, then it doesn't seem like they're going to reveal, like, is he a person that we
Yes.
have heard? Unless it's someone that we've heard of that they've never met, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, like some people have said, well, what if that's Neolin just randomly, right? But Taryn's seen this.
Yeah, you think Taryn would have said something.
Yeah, so I don't feel like there's gonna be a reveal on him being someone that well, unless it's someone from history. This guy could be hundreds and hundreds of years old. Who
Yeah, maybe
knows?
he's like the first
Maybe
maybe he's one of the
he's
first
Warwick.
6.
He's Warwick. That
would be
crazy.
insane.
The one who doesn't want to share
Uh-huh.
the one who doesn't want to
Uh-huh.
share the information with anybody
Well,
else.
Lyra said she was the only one who
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. So he wasn't the only one. He's just the only one we get to make wrong.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, but he was actively trying to hide it, I guess, which maybe is different than just having I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know
know.
what the other one.
So anyways, he says he thought we'd be at Samara, figured we'd do the honorable thing and answer Melgren's call. And she says, how do you know that? And he says, do us both a favor and don't ask.
Right. So it's not so it must be from the dream, right? Like that sounds like could just be from the dreams.
But he could just say, I've been seeing
No,
him
but
in my dreams.
he didn't tell Violet that.
He could just say, I've been seeing him in my dreams. How hard is that?
Well, for Xaden, everything is so hard to tell her.
So what does he always tell her to do?
Ask questions, and then this time he says, "Don't ask." Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's scared that if she knows, like, assuming that he thinks she's not having these dreams, she thinks he's not having these dreams, and they're both like maybe they're too scared to talk about it because I think it means that they're going to turn or whatever.
Do you think they're having the same dreams?
Not exactly the same, but of the same guy.
Yeah.
Well,
and when he talks in
actually-
the dreams, he talks like we may be in a dream, but I am talking to you in a dream. That's how he talks.
Yeah, also, we do know that Xaden also gets suspended in his dreams, just like she does,
Mhm.
suspended in the air, because he says, like, when in the Xaden point of view, he says, like, oh, I'm suspended just like in my nightmares.
Yeah.
So maybe they are basically having the same dream, except for Xaden must have figured out that it really is not a
The
dream,
guy's
and then
talking
maybe
to him.
started to ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he knows more, where Violet
Or she's just always just trying to get out of the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very fascinating.
But it is weird that he's not really telling her.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we know so right now basically the guy has arrived, right? Like from the last chapter, and he's like slowly descending in some very dramatic fashion from all the other wyverns down to the ground. So
Yeah.
she's like, shit, I've got to be quick. So she asks Xaden, if you had to choose to correctly raise the wards here at Vesgaeth or ours at, and then she doesn't say it because it's a confidential
Yeah.
space.
I always forget that
Yeah.
it's a secret.
Yeah. What would you choose?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, right. I kind of didn't think about the fact that there is only one in Darna.
Yeah.
This is the problem. I mean, I know this problem was coming because they kept on mentioning how often that you can't, the dragon and the
Can't use
dragon
the same
fire.
dragons, yeah.
But when it was actually important, it kind of just like slipped my mind. I was like, oh no, wait, you can only do one of them.
Yeah. Which is totally just a plot point so this can happen because why else could you not use the same dragon fire? Like, who cares?
The wards,
wards,
apparently.
Okay. So she's like, you have to choose. I only have the resources to fully raise the wards here or there. I would never take that choice from you, which is a nice, very nice thing. But he says you ward wherever you are, which is here. Like, I mean, what's the point?
Well,
If they
what's
do
the other
ward
option?
there,
Let's all
are they going to
leave.
jump? Be like, okay, guys, see ya, and take off to Arisha to ward it there?
And the thing is the wyverns would catch, like, they can't,
They can't.
they
do that.
realistically cannot leave because they would just be hunted down. We
I think
learned
she
that the
knows.
wyverns are faster.
Yeah, she knows that he's going to answer this way, but I think she still wants to make sure it's his decision, not
Yeah.
hers. So she's like, but you're home. And then he says, you are my home. And if we all die here today, then that knowledge will die with us anyways.
Yeah. She's
Again.
basically saying, like,
Ward must die.
we kind of have to.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
whole time, like, even when she says, how do you know that? And he said, do us a favor and don't ask. And throughout all of these chapters until the Xaden chapter, I was convinced that he was somehow already a Venin,
Mm.
basically. Or, like, had wielded one single time, not maybe more than that.
And that's why he didn't want to tell her yet. And that's why.
Yeah. So there's, like, so many times that I was like, oh, that's definitely a hint for that. And anyways, it just, that's not quite what it was.
Yeah.
Like, I had I was so close to guessing right what was gonna happen, but I was, like,
Yeah,
more convinced there's gonna be another one of his, like, secrets than a new thing, I guess.
but she doesn't keep a secret from her house, which is nice.
No,
Okay,
it was nice, but also,
but
like,
we
how
gotta
would
we
you
gotta ask that question at the right time,
Okay.
and so so, she then turns to Coda and says, "I need to talk to you."
Yeah.
And did you it says, "I need to talk to you,"
I
before
know,
you know she's facing him, yeah.
but I was just like, "Well, can't Taryn talk to him?" But then she explains, like,
No,
"Well"
because she hasn't told Taryn the secret yet.
yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, "I'm gonna have to talk to him directly." And I love Zayden goes, "Holy fuck, Violet." And he, like, puts himself, like, right there. He's like, I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do, be, killed first.
Yeah.
And both of them would die. And he says, "You know what you're doing?" And she says, "If I don't, we're all dead." And then she's like, she can feel Taryn trying to dismantle her shields.
Yeah.
Says no rider can keep the dragon out for long if they want in. So Coda's like nostrils flare and like he's like lip curls and he looks scary as hell. And she says, "You know, and you didn't tell your rider because dragonkind protects dragonkind." See, that's another thing we had talked about this before. Like, why don't dragons tell? Like,
Yeah.
this is a dragonkind secret.
So sh
Well, even more
so
that,
he knew about Indarna then?
yeah,
Do you think he's the only one? Or he knew because of that
or
time that he
just the
couldn't
elders because Taryn's not an elder.
Yeah. But he couldn't deny her rite of passage, right? This
Yeah,
is a
so we're
thing that
gonna
comes
get to
up.
that, but yeah.
So maybe that's when he knew, or maybe he knew before that. Like, I wonder if that's when he knew. He was like,
Or maybe they
"Oh,
knew that that egg's been sitting there for 600 and something years.
yeah, that knowledge could have been passed down
It
through the
could have been.
elders."
And we don't know how old Coda is.
Yeah.
Like, isn't Taryn a couple hundred years old?
Yeah, he said he's not that old when about speaking 600.
Yeah, so maybe Coda is.
Yeah.
So then she says, "Yes, I figured it out. I've already used Taryn's fire on the second word stone, so if I power the stone at Besgaiath, will you come?"
Why the fuck wouldn't he not?
Well, it would be dumb, obviously. But it's still
Yeah. Your
she's showing
hatching
a lot of balls
grounds.
here.
Yes. Yes.
Seriously.
Your hatching grounds would be destroyed otherwise, but it's fine.
But also they probably because they can't use Indarn as the other black dragon.
Yes.
They would have to be him because he's the black dragon, not her, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it says, you don't need, because this is what Zayden's saying, you don't need him as the black dragon. You have Indarna. But she knows she doesn't. So
But
she
that's
says,
still
will
that
you?
doesn't that's not
What?
even how it works because I thought they had to be. Or is that translation now that we know that Warwick's translation is wrong in the new translation, does it not talk about like it has to be the most powerful, politically powerful of their den? Is it just one of each breed?
Yeah, I know that doesn't actually make sense because Ardarna has no political power specific that we are aware of. Otherwise,
Yeah.
especially with the black line,
She's
it's
like
not,
one of the
and Coda
youngest.
is there. So of course he has to do it. Yeah, that
Right.
does seem like a dumb thing.
So unless the new translate but then how would Zayden even know that?
Yeah.
It just doesn't
This
quite
might
make
just
sense.
be a way just to help us, like, show this
Help
reveal.
us understand what's going
Yeah.
on, yeah.
So she's like, "Will you come? We're all dead if you don't. The Empyrean will end." And then he, like, huffs a kind of a softer, like,
Like he's
steam,
resigned.
and then he dips his chin to her, which is very nice. So he can't particularly just go into her voice and talk to her.
No,
I mean,
that'd
go
be
into her head and talk to her. So Taryn comes up and says, "You court death." And then she says, "I needed to confirm a secret that isn't mine to share," which is why she didn't use him to
Yeah.
talk to Dakota. She's like, "Please don't push." And he's like, he flexes his talons. He's not happy. She turns to Zayn and says, "I don't want to leave you, but I have about a million questions as to why you think they're coming for you. But if I don't, like if she doesn't leave," and he goes, "You and I both know you can't raise the wards and stay to fight. When we were in Reston, I held them back while you fought. I trusted you to handle yourself. Now trust me to handle myself while you get the wards up before more people die." Do you think he did a good job with that trust?
No, but, like, he would have died otherwise, right?
Something,
He was
something
about
was
to burn
happening.
out.
Something was happening.
Something was happening.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's hard to say. So she says, "You will stay alive." Well, he did that.
Yes.
And then she makes Terrence stay back with him, which Terrence's not happy about, but she's just like, "Don't you dare let him die." And he lets her go off on his own, which is pretty, actually, kind of impressive.
Yeah, but also she's gonna be indoors.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there's not a hole in the ceiling, but
But still. Well, although, yeah, but she could run into that tiny little passage, no dragon's gonna get her, right?
Yeah, and there's gonna be, like, all of her
All the
people
people are
around
there and
her.
stuff, yeah,
But yeah, it is impressive. I think she's just, like, no one's arguing with her right now. She
yeah.
is set on her course.
So Violet runs through and actually gives orders as she goes, which I love. She yells at Melgren and says, "The Flyers want to fight, let them," as
Mhm.
she's running past him. And then she yells at her mom, "Cut the storm so the griffins can fly," as she runs. She doesn't even wait for answers. She's like, "You guys better fucking do what I'm saying this time and stop being idiots."
Yeah.
Um, I I would like to know, did she cut the storm and let the griffins fly? Let the yeah,
I don't know.
because they are the ones who have been trained in killing venom. It's just yeah.
Not
Now,
that they did a great job protecting their I mean,
Reston, they didn't do a good job
no, I'm not
protecting
talking about
Reston.
Reston, I was talking
Oh,
about their
oh, their cliff.
college.
Yeah, no, I know.
But,
But even
what are
at
you gonna
Reston,
do?
like, all didn't, like, almost all the Flyers die except for Serena maybe, or Serena and one other or something
I
like
don't
that?
remember, but it wasn't
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's true, that's a good point.
It's like they might be trained on how to do it, but they're so much weaker than them.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I was reading this and she's like running and she's like trying really hard and she's like and then I read this paragraph. I run because I couldn't save Liam. Couldn't save and then I'm like, "Oh man, her name's back."
So
Soleil.
way.
But I'm like, she didn't even know
I
Soleil.
know,
She should
she's
just
so
say because I couldn't save Liam. I mean,
every
I'm sorry,
time.
but Soleil was like insignificant in her life before she died.
I know, it's like, what about the girl who fell from parapet? You don't care about her? Or
Yeah.
sorry, not parapet,
A gauntlet.
yeah, you never
She
bring
had
up her.
she had more, like, love for that person. It just cracks me up. Anyways, so, okay. I do think, though let's watch. I do think that's the last time we're gonna hear that name.
For the whole next book too?
Yeah, because I think it was all this book, and I think, like, in Onyx Storm, it's not mentioned at all. Who knows? Because last time I read Onyx Storm was before we had this kind of weird inside joke, but okay, so she's running down, runs past her first years. She says, like, "Move," I shout at Lynx and Baylor because I remember their names. Avalon, Sloan, Arik, Kai, the Flyer. I know all the year's names. And I'm like, okay.
I was just like, "Oh, good, I'm glad that we get to find out people so they can die."
So the entire she's like, who are the
Oh,
new people?
no,
Just like, we
not
never heard of
Lynx.
Lynx and Avalon. Poor Lynx and Avalon. No.
Yeah. No, but I was just like, "It's been a year." No, well, almost.
So we know it's December because it's the solstice.
It's been 6 months. You should've I'm glad you
I'm
finally
glad
know
she
their
knows the
names.
names. Yeah. That's funny. Um,
Wait, when did they start? March?
well, threshing is October 1st, but that by that time they've already been going for a while.
Well, so July 15th is Parapet Day?
Is that it? No. Are you saying that because that's when the announcement was made?
Yeah, what was the
That
significance of
was
that date?
conscription day.
Okay, so that is
So that's
Parapet
when
Day.
they sign up. Good point.
That's the
Good
same
point.
day.
Okay.
Okay, so that's when it starts, is
Dang
summer.
it. I
So we're
had
only
this.
halfway through the year.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a big break for a quick announcement because I totally meant to say this in the beginning before we started, but we really wanted to get to this. But speaking of conscription day and threshing day, in case you have been living under a rock, which, listen, if you have, it's totally okay. I'm not faulting you. But we haven't been announced that the new, not book 4 book is called Threshing Day. And it is coming out, I think, September 29th, which is like 2 days before Threshing Day. I forget why that is.
Is that when you meet the dragons for the first
Maybe
time?
it's presentation day.
Yeah.
And then, and it says specifically on the book and also on the, like, the promotional pieces about it, it says 13 unforgettable stories, one legendary day, the bond that changes everything. And then it says, don't die.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, that's a very short little advertisement in the middle of this. Okay, so back to this. She's ran past these first years. She's heading into where the Wardstone is, right? It is all put together now. It's standing up. I guess magic, right?
He
Because I'm
healed
sure
it.
he couldn't have picked it up. That thing is so big around that dragons hide behind it.
Yeah, that's
That's how
true.
big this thing is. I keep forgetting. I keep look. It is humongous.
Yeah.
So she asks if it works, and Brennan's like, yeah. She's like, will it hold power? He's like, try. So she, like, touches it and tries to put power into it, right?
Mhm.
He asks, how long does it take for 3 of you to imbue the Wardstone at home? And she says, weeks. And he's like, yeah, we don't have that time. It does start to imbue, though. She is imbuing it. And
Yeah.
she basically decides, I'm going to imbue it by myself.
Yeah, she can't even ask, like, anyone else there to just try a little bit. But anyways, my first
No,
thought
she does, though. Somewhere in here, there's a conversation where someone tells who is it that sends out the word to anybody who's not fighting, which she's like, I don't know why would not be fighting. So any extra writers to come down to
Oh,
help her imbue it. That word is sent out.
I just don't remember them
Taryn
actually
maybe.
showing up. That's okay.
Well, that's why her mom shows up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when Brennan says we don't have weeks, my first thought was, well, what about Sloane?
Right.
Because we know that she would be like a natural imbuer. I didn't know what that meant to the full extent. I just thought that meant that she herself could imbue.
I get it. You didn't realize she had to take from another.
Yeah, even though her power being a siphon, but I just didn't
Yeah.
put it together.
Yeah. I do think when we get to we don't whatever, and we can talk about it later more, but I do think that if it wasn't for how much power this needed, I don't think you generally have to like kill the person you're siphoning from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's thinking like, oh, Zayden's up there, my squad's up there, they're battling. We're out of time. This is where Brennan's like, I'll have Marb put the word out that we need more writers to imbue, right?
Yeah.
And she says we need every writer who can make it, but she's also like, who's going to leave the fighting to come down here? She tells Andarna to come down, which she does. And then so while she's imbuing, she has this conversation. She asks Andarna, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, tell you what. It's interesting here. There's this period of time, there's like, Andarna makes her say it. And I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a certain
But she's not allowed
like she
to.
can't say it herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it comes across. And then Violet says, I know. I should have known earlier. The second I saw you after rest, and I knew something was different about the sheen of your scales, but I figured I'd never been around an adolescent, so what do I know? And
Mm-hmm.
then and Darna's like, different. That's exactly how I've always felt. And then Violet's like, it's why you feel like you don't fit in with the other adolescents. It's why you were allowed to bond. And then she's like, Gods, you told me yourself, but I thought you were just being. And Darna's like, an adolescent. And then Violet nods. And she's like trying to concentrate, but she feels anger barreling down the bond from Taryn and Fury.
Yeah, so that's the moment that I thought that Xaden would have done something.
Yeah.
But we know that's not true because
Well, Taryn this whole time is fighting because while
Yeah.
they're having this conversation, the Venom and
it could have just
Xaden,
been him.
a million wyvern are attacking Sigale.
Yeah.
And so Taryn is spending this whole time just trying to keep Sigale alive
It
while this
must
is happening.
just be that. But I
Yeah.
was like, no, what happened up there? Like, genuinely, I was like so scared.
Violet continues, I should have listened when you said you were the head of your own den. That's why no one could fight your right of benefaction last year. Why the Empyrean allowed a juvenile to bond. Because she was the head of her own den.
Yeah, she's like, actually, I can do whatever I want. And they're like,
Wonder
oh,
she's
God
so
damn it.
snotty. But the crazy thing is that Taryn didn't know this. He didn't know this. He thought, like, I can't believe Coda let her or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were keeping it a secret even from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just an elders thing.
Yeah. So then Andarna says, say it. Don't just guess, which is why I think she can't say it herself.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud. You're a vampire. Oh, sorry. Wrong book. So Violet says, your scales aren't really black. And then Darna's like, no, but he is. And I so badly want to be just like him.
So cute.
My heart. Of course, we're talking about Taryn. And then and Darna says he doesn't know, only the elders do. So there's the answer, only the elders do. And then she says they revere him. He is strong and loyal and fierce.
That's so cute.
It is very cute. And then Violet says you are all of those things too. All this time she's like slowly, like losing all of her power and like not doing well. But that's
she's
okay.
burning
Who cares
out.
about that?
Who cares?
This conversation is more interesting. So then Violet says, you didn't have to hide. You could have told me. And then Andarna says, if you didn't figure it out, you weren't worthy of knowing. And she says this amazing line, I waited 650 years to hatch. Waited until your 18th summer when I heard our elders talk of the weakling daughter of their general, the girl. Why are the elders talking about her, right? The girl forecasted to become the head of the scribes, and I knew you would have the mind of a scribe and the heart of a writer. You would be mine.
I mean, that's so cute. Also, she waited 650 years to hatch. Why couldn't she have just hatched earlier and waited for a Violet? Who knows? Maybe because she wanted to be kept a secret.
Is she playing solitaire in there this whole time?
Yeah, what is she doing?
That's
Just
amazing.
Sleeping mostly.
Yeah, and then maybe like just probably sleeping and just her like kind of unconscious is scanning stuff to find out when the right time is to hatch.
Yeah, I mean, dragons are dragons. How many powers do they have themselves?
Yeah, that's fascinating because she hears this conversation and then hatches and like, oh, I want that.
Yeah, I wonder if like Lilith's dragon was like complaining, like, oh God, Violet again, causing trouble. Violet, oh, she's so weak. She keeps on pulling her sockets out of place.
But now we still have not come back to the fact that her father, Violet's father, was doing a study on feathertails or something. What was the
Yeah,
date of?
what is
So
this about?
yeah. So does that have anything to do with how they know?
Or what they were talking about?
Was he like the one person they allowed in the veil? And he's like sitting there talking about his daughter. And she's like, I like this guy's voice. I think his daughter would be great. I don't know. I really don't know.
I
Like,
don't think they let him in the veil.
he's got some, how else does he know anything about feathers, tails to write a report about it? And remember, he's not a writer.
Yeah,
So
so
he
it
doesn't
can't
have a
be.
dragon.
Yeah,
It's just fascinating.
it
I don't
really
know. It's
is.
fascinating because I don't have an answer. And that's,
I took it more as like he was compiling information that little bits of information that was maybe already in the
but he's
archives.
hidden it somewhere where no one can find it.
I think when he started putting it all together,
Maybe he was
he
figuring things out.
discovered
Maybe.
things, and then he was like, "Oh, this is not really something that's supposed to get
In
out."
my head, he's the one person that's been allowed in the veil. And he
What's
was
that?
sitting next to her egg talking about Violet.
What's that scientist's name who got like accepted by the gorillas and lived with them?
Oh, yeah, yeah, the lady.
Jane.
Sure. I watched the movie and it like scarred me for life.
Oh, no. I don't have any information except for that she lived with them. That's
Yeah,
him with the
Sigourney
dragons.
Weaver played the lady. Anyways, yes, that's him with the dragons. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Okay, so then she says, "You are as unique as I am. We want the same things." And then Violet's like, "You couldn't have known I would be a writer." And Darna says, "And yet, here we are." So she did know how. Maybe she did hear Ames or whatever the name is saying like, and then her mom, and then whatever. My writer says that she's gonna, make her join the writers. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, and
But
she's
this
like,
isn't when she's 18, so this is 2 years before.
I know. What happened when she was 18? Maybe that's when
Did
her dad
the
died.
dad die then?
Maybe.
Maybe. So maybe Amser did know because at that point she's like, well, can't argue her being a scribe anymore. I'm gonna make her a writer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
It's very odd. It seems so weird for dragons to be talking about her. Like it does.
it
But
does.
we also like I get the impression from Taryn that they're like low-key major gossips.
Right?
Like just so maybe like
They're like the cereal in Akatar, right? Just spilling tea everywhere.
yeah, and seeming to kind of know the future because like
Yeah.
how did
Or maybe there's a prophecy.
there's a prophet. I mean, well, I'm waiting for a prophecy. Where's the prophecy?
Okay. Keep going. So, she's got 1,000 questions, doesn't know how to ask them all, but she says, "You're not a black dragon or any of the 6 that we know of. You're a 7th breed." And then Indarna's very excited. She said, "Yes." She's like, "I want you to tell me everything, but our friends are dying, so I need to ask if you're willing to breathe fire for the stone." And then she said, Indarna says, "It is why I was left behind."
Yeah, what? Where did the rest go? Why did they go?
Left behind.
Why? Where and why?
And also, where's the mom and dad? It's so sad. Anyways,
Yeah.
I guess they just pop out like an egg and they're like, I don't even know who this is. It doesn't matter. No.
That's not really how dragons act about their eggs.
Okay,
I've
fine.
always-
That's true. That's true. So then she says, "At least from what I remember, it has been centuries." So somehow they speak to this little,
Egg. And they're
and they're
like,
like,
okay, we're all leaving you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
"You're
Hopefully you
gonna
know what to
hopefully
do.
bring this to the, whatever. You'll know when you're needed." I don't know. There's a whole lot of questions here. I mean, Violet says it. We've got too many questions.
Maybe they
to
all
ask.
go live on the islands. Maybe they're tropical dragons. They want to live on the islands.
Yeah. Well, we get interrupted here on these questions because General Sorengel, Lilith, walks in the room and it says, "Nice to see you, Cam. Your father's been looking for you."
That made me laugh so hard. At first second, I was like, who's Cam?
I love it. I love it because I can hear in my voice, even though I don't know what her voice is, I can hear her just very casually being like, "Oh, nice to see you, Cam. Your father's been looking for you." And
And
then
he's like, I'm a bonded writer. There's nothing he can.
and she goes, "Don't really care." She totally brushes them off. Don't really care. And then she looks and says, "It holds power." Like
Yeah.
she just like really doesn't care. She's like, "Whatever, dude." Did she know all the time he was there? I just wouldn't put it past her. It's possible.
I don't know. She's not like the head of the writer quadrant. She's just the head of the war college. So does she?
Well, that's over the right.
I know. But I'm saying she's a lot of duties.
Yeah, I
Would it be crazy for Ark to have slipped by her? Maybe not.
Yeah, no, it's true. For some reason, Violet's surprised her mom's there when they're like literally sent out like we need all the writers. Maybe because she's a general and she should be on the at the war, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So she tells Indarna to fly off because she doesn't trust her mom to see her. So, but that's because Indarna is hiding behind this ward stone. Her mom hasn't seen her at all.
Yeah.
Karen warns her that she's pushing the limits. This warning does not work.
No.
Violet has pretty much given up at this point, even though we get that kind of later. But we do get this moment where Taryn like shares his vision with her. and shows her, like, all the just, like, gray blocking out this, like, so much, wyvern that it's all just gray and, like, seeing all like, he spots, like, Xaden on the ground, and she sees the sage and Xaden sort of fighting, but it looks like the sage is just, like, kind of lazily handling everything, you
Just, like,
know?
playing with him.
Yeah. Um, and then also it says that like green fire streams from overhead. Taryn jerks his attention back to Segale. And it says one blasting cherry red fire, and she's like, "Oh my god, there's even more breeds than we thought." Like, God damn it,
Ugh,
how many breeds do they have?
yeah.
And then she kind of like feels like terror flooding her mind, which is from Taryn, and then she blinks and she's back.
Yeah, so from all of this, I was like, "Okay, Xaden is clearly fighting this Venom and losing." I
How rude.
believe that he was causing a distraction to buy her time. I just didn't think it was fighting that was buying her time. I just thought he was, I don't know, doing something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, "Hey, this is a great time for you to train me. Let's
Let's
focus on that."
let's get distracted and just
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
I just was really convinced of this. But, yeah.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so she's burning out. She's realized basically it's gonna take all of her life, all of Taryn's life too, right? No, no, no. She's saying she's not gonna give up his life, that it would take all of hers
Yeah,
to finish this word stone, right?
yeah.
Violet does no, Brennan does find her, her mom finds her, they're all like, Violet, and they're freaking out and everything. And, she's thinking all these very, sad thoughts about end of life. We're not gonna get into them because just we don't need to go there. Mom yells, Mom, that's how she's referred to in here, yells, "What's your signet?" Arc is like, "Hasn't manifested." And she's like, "What about the others out there?" So obviously they find out that Sloane's a siphon because that's what she's looking
Mhm.
for. All this time, her dragons are yelling at her and telling her to knock it off and stop sacrificing herself and stuff. She tells Indara that she says, "You have your purpose. Maybe this is mine," which I don't know, but that's fine. I get it. I do get it. She thinks like this is it. Someone's got to do it and I can do it, and I get it.
Yeah,
But she says to Taryn, "I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have to lose two writers this way."
yeah.
Sad. It says, and then here you get this statement from her or in her head where she says, "I get it. I finally understand why someone would turn to stealing magic. All of the power in the world is beneath my fingertips, and if I take from the earth instead of from Taryn, I'll have enough power to save."
Right, and I was like, major foreshadowing.
Did you think like, "Oh no, it's not Xaden. It must be Violet." No,
Nope, I
you didn't.
wrote foreshadowing.
For
I said
Xaden still.
foreshadowing to Xaden.
Oh, interesting.
And then so this is when I started catching on, okay, so he's gonna do it during this battle.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wrote foreshadowing to Xaden, also love like the Venom said.
Maybe because I read this so fast, there's no way I would have come up with that. Like I literally didn't nothing at all came to me. He turns around and he's got red eyes and I shrieked. I was like, sorry,
Yeah.
I hope I didn't like blow out the microphone. Um,
No, I couldn't believe it'd be both of them.
I mean, they
And
can go live their little Ven and happy lives afterwards.
I don't think it's happy.
I
I think that's the
mean, you just
problem.
get some distended veins.
You sell your soul.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. So Terrence saying you must save yourself. And then he says, "I choose you not as my next, but as my last. And should you fall, then I will follow."
Yeah, he's saying like a threat. I will follow.
I will die if you die.
And then Sigale will die. And then Zayn will die. Is that what you want, Violet?
She doesn't. She's not really listening.
No.
Sloane's. So then you hear Sloane yell, "I won't do it."
Yeah, and I was like, why? Why wouldn't you?
Because you didn't realize what she was gonna do. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. The fact that I could predict that Xaden was going to channel and become a Venom, but could not predict that her mom was sacrificing herself until pretty much the moment it happened was insane. Because this is really clearly written.
Yeah.
And I thought the whole time that her mom was trying to convince Sloane to sacrifice herself.
Oh,
And I was like, this is really weird.
that's so funny.
Anyways.
You don't get. I mean, this comes out of the blue.
Yes.
What happens here? So I
but
get
like
that. But
the
right here, you
conversation
start to get
going
it.
back,
Yeah.
like when her mom is saying like, I killed all these people that you love and stuff. Like I was like, this is so weird. I'm confused. Like what's happening?
Yeah.
It really should have been more obvious. I don't know. I just
Listen, you can't predict it all. You're
No.
already too goddamn good. And
I was too stressed
we need
about the
some
Xaden
surprise.
situation.
Yeah. So her mom nicely kicks her shoulder so hard that her hand comes off and she has to stop channeling. Now, I don't think she ends up completely cutting the power yet. Like, she realizes the power is still like coming full force. So she does eventually shove her door closed, but it doesn't instantly stop just because her hand came off the word
It
stone.
stops coming out of her, but it's
Yeah,
still,
but
like, channeling into her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she does cut the power eventually, shoves that archives door closed, feels the relief from Taryn and Darna. But then we have this her mom saying, it's the only way you can't imbue something this big in an instant, not without hundreds of writers, which we don't have. If you want to save your friends, you'll do this.
Yeah, and then I said, "Whoa, is she gonna make Sloane wield from the ground?" Then that's my next thought, that she was trying to convince her
To become a
to
venom.
become a
That's funny.
It just
Let's just all
every
become venom. What? Let's just make
It would
easy.
solve our wait, hold on,
Wait,
no, it
hold on.
wouldn't.
And then she's like, yeah, so then Violet's like, "Mom?" Because she's I don't know if she's catching on, but then and then Lilith says, "You're Amari."
Uh-huh, and I was like, "Oh, so she knows how to become a venom."
Oh my
Oh.
goodness, you still have that. That's great. So she's like, "Yes." And and Lilith says, "I killed your mother." And this is where Violet figures it out. And she yells,
Yeah,
"Mom." And
I
then
still did
Brennan's
not,
collapsing because he just healed her and he's tired, I
because
guess.
he had just healed the
Mended
Warren's.
Warnstone and now just mended her.
Yeah,
And then and then I don't know why I'm laughing every time I read this. I'm trying to it's emotional.
yes.
Lilith says, "I tracked her down and hauled her to her own execution." She's basically trying to show her like
"You hate me,
you
you
hate
hate
me, it's
me."
okay. You were there. I made you watch you and your brother. And then Sloane whispers Liam. And then her mom picks up Sloane's left hand, putting it onto the stone and says, I could have stopped his death too if I just paid a little bit more attention last year to what my own aide was doing. Which actually is an interesting statement because she's basically saying, I fucked up because I wasn't paying attention and your brother died because of that too.
Yeah.
So then this is when like Violet's figuring this out, but Arik comes in and stops her and he's like, "Sorry, I can't let you go. She's right. And if I have to choose between her life and yours, I choose yours."
Uh-huh, and then this is when I was like, "Oh no, Sloane's gonna die." I'm serious, it's literally not until, like, the line, I'm like, "Oh,
Oh no, it's funny.
this is so
Oh
confusing
my
to me."
God. Oh god. Violet
Oh.
tries yelling at Andarna to tell her to do something about it. And Andarna says, "I'm so sorry. I choose your life too. You are mine. I can't let you die." And then she's like, "Oh gods, no, Sloane is a siphon." And then Lilith keeps saying, "Can you hear them up there dying? That's what's happening. Your friends are dying. Cadet Mari, Tyrandor's heir is fighting for his life, and you can stop it. You can save them all." And then Violet yells at her, "Don't do it, Sloane. That's my mother." You
Yeah,
didn't get it then
n
either?
I think I probably did. I was really caught up in it.
Yeah. But she thinks like, "Oh, maybe she'll listen to Xaden," right? But then what actually ends up happening is by her throwing down her shield, she feels Xaden's pain. She realizes like he's dying. He's burning out.
Yeah, so
And
this
she
must be the
says
moment
right before,
before.
yeah. And she says Xaden's dying. And that's actually what gets Sloane to do it
Yeah.
because Xaden's life is maybe more important to her than
Wait, but so
Violet's.
I'm just, like, so confused. I thought that when Xaden reached out to Violet
Mhm.
and feels that she's burning out and about to die. Now I guess he must stop focusing on that and continue the conversation with the Venom, and then
Mhm.
right here, Violet notices that he's burning out and about to die, and then when she stops paying attention, that must be right then the moment that he
Yeah. I
channels
don't
from the
know.
ground, because well, we'll have to think about the timeline
When
when
we
we
read
read
his
his.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm like, now I'm a little confused. I'm like, wow, they really just missed each other. Like, if he just waited a little bit longer, Brennan would have been healing her, and he would have been like, "Okay, she's fine." And if she waited a little bit longer, she would have been like, "Whoa, what the fuck is he doing?"
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's very true. So basically here we kind of find out a little bit about what a siphon does here because points out that says your signet will take over. You think of yourself as nothing more than a conduit for power. You're simply facilitating mine flowing into the stone. So that means that like I guess because the way it's siphoned, it goes a lot faster than just trying to imbue by itself. She's just literally just sucking the power out of Lilith and putting it into the stone. It's just like a
Yeah.
fast way to do it.
Yeah, because yeah, I guess when you're the one imbuing, you can only do it so fast, but a
Yeah.
siphon can suck you dry very quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Sloane whispers Violet, but she's not really there. She thinks like she kind of still hears Xaden and she hears him think, but it will be worth it to save the one I love, Violet.
Yeah, but
But it's kinda hard to
I'm
tell
dying
because
on
you're
the battle.
wondering.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not here, not really. I'm dying on the battlefield, the last of my strength fading, but it will be worth it to save the one I love.
So this is
So,
him
yeah.
making the decision, I think.
Or yeah,
I
I
think it's
guess
him making the
so.
decision right there.
I guess so.
She yells unless it's when she yells down the line, "Fight," I don't know. But no, I think that was him because how is dying is not gonna save the one he loves.
Right,
He has to
exactly.
do something
Yeah,
to
I think
keep
you're right.
to kill this guy, yeah. So anyways, Lilith is just she just keeps going, right? She says, as soon as my power, Aimser's power lives within the stone, fire it, raise the wards. There's nothing I wouldn't do to keep you safe. Do you understand? Oh, she's talking to Violet here. Do you understand? Everything was to get you to this moment when you'd be strong enough. Everything. What's everything? Everything
Strong
she's
enough to
done.
do what? She doesn't even say. Just
This
strong enough, period?
this is her looking at Violet and telling Violet, "Everything I've done up to this moment was for you to get to this moment." I'm sorry. Everything I've done has been to
Yeah.
get you to this moment where Violet is right now. She's basically
Yeah.
saying her whole life up to this time has been to get to this moment. What is this moment?
Yeah, what is this moment?
So then,
To get her to raise the wards, so it says raise the wards. There's nothing I wouldn't do to keep you safe.
yeah,
I
to
don't
keep
know.
you safe, to keep
Yeah.
Violet. I mean, she's made it clear many times, despite whatever her reasons are for staying with that side, she's made it very clear that her children's lives are more important than anything, right?
Yeah.
Despite her decisions we don't really understand. And then she says here, "You are everything we dreamed you would be."
Oh, God, devastating. Devastating to bring up her dad right now, too.
And then says, "All 3 of you," to include Brennan, "and I'll
Uh-huh.
get to see him soon." And then she says, "Live well." And then she collapses. And I do believe she's dead at that point.
Yes.
But I still think that you're everything we dreamed you would be to Violet is something. Because yes, she says all 3 of you because, Brennan's there. She's like, "I'm not," but at the same time, I think she's saying something between these 2 lines, between these everything was to get to
Strong
you to this
enough.
moment when you'd be strong enough to you're everything we dreamed you would be is something.
You think Milgren had a prediction?
I
Because
don't
this was I had that
You did
prediction
have that
at the beginning of the
prediction.
book of why would she get forced into the writer's quadrant? Maybe Milgren
Had some prediction.
knew that she would be
I just
like
don't
the
think
turning
his
point.
power works to the point that far
I
ahead
know.
and being like almost like an oracle, you know?
I know, that would be insane.
Maybe we're gonna find someone with an oracle power.
But I mean, it could just be like, I foresee a very, very distant battle in which the turning point
Is
is
your daughter?
your daughter.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
maybe that's why they were talking to her about her in the dragon area.
And Darna's like, "Well, I want the writer that's gonna turn history."
She goes, "Oh, wait, that sounds like what I've been waiting for."
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I really think that you're everything we dreamed you would be him and her and husband,
Yeah, but
not
everything was
Melgren,
to get you
but
to this moment when
you
you'd
were
be
strong
strong
enough. I know.
enough.
I don't I listen. We'll keep going through all the interesting things we find out in Onyx Storm, and we'll just remember these sentences if we can, okay?
Yeah.
Because we have a whole nother book to do.
Woo.
Oh my. Okay, so yes, this was very sad, but we're gonna have to push past the sadness. Mira comes in. We think we're pushing past sadness, but Mira comes in and freaks out and is yelling mom. And I think Mira was the closest to her mother.
Yes, definitely.
The one that still, despite everything, loved her mother.
Yeah.
I mean, Violet
I
did
mean,
too
she
to a
does.
degree, but
Yeah, but Mira is the one I think who reprimands Brennan for
yeah,
letting mom believe you've been dead.
yeah,
And Brennan's like, I don't give a fuck.
yeah, yeah.
Really, he did a little bit.
Brennan was more, what's the word? Gosh, I hate it.
Very, very
He
angry
was
at her.
angry, yeah. I was thinking of another word, but it's okay. So, okay, we have a lot of grief going on here. Sloane says, "I'm so sorry." Mira yells at her, "What did you do?" Which probably doesn't help at all. And then we
No.
get in Violet's mind from Andarna, Xaden needs you. Taryn and Sigil wait with him. So we know he's alive.
Yes.
So they're like dragging their mom out of there right now. Oh, because they have to fire up the ward stone, so they need to get her body out of there because, they're going to make iron flame. So,
Yeah. They are gonna make Iron Flame.
yes.
Finally.
And then, and Darna's like in the doorway. Oh, she's in the doorway facing the wardstone. Somehow, I guess, in that little bit of time, they must have gotten all the dragons together that are needed.
I'm guessing that
And they,
Aimzar, who also just sacrificed his life,
yeah,
was like, everyone get their
or
ass
Coda could have
over
done that.
here.
No, but Coda could have done that
Yeah,
too.
I know. But I'm
Because they're
just
all up there, and Darna's in the chamber, and they have just breathed on the wards. The flame comes on, the iron flame, of course, comes
Mhm.
on. And it says here, it says, "The flame that circles the chamber flowing in from 6 above and the 1 who makes all the difference." So we get the
So
6 and the
great.
1
So great.
reference. And then it says, "A pulse of energy runs through me in a wave, the wards. When Andarna moves, my gaze wanders up the mended warden stone to the iron flame that burns black on top. It's all that's
Wait,
left of my mother."
so the iron flame only burns at the top?
Yeah, so it sounds like.
Which my vision of how this thing looks
I know, it
is
keeps
it
changing.
has to
Because
be so
remember when
wrong.
Bade, Jack's dragon, had to get all the way up? Maybe that's why he had to get all the way
That
up so he
makes a
could
lot more
burn on the
sense on
he
the
could
actual
bleed
flame.
on the yeah.
It's kind of confusing. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
Well, that's all that's left of her mother.
Is a wardstone that's protecting the whole college. So you know
And if
what? If
that
that's the
doesn't
way to go,
represent her,
I mean, it represents her mother pretty good.
then what does? Yeah. But it is true that Aemzar also had to die, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
And I bet you there was a little conversation that happened there where Amzar says, "Yep, you do what you need to do, girl. I'm with you."
Well, yeah, because I mean, to her mom, she's saving Violet, but also they're also saving everyone
And the veil,
and the veil.
all the eggs, yeah.
So if it is a
And it's
pretty
not just Violet,
worthy,
all 3 of her kids are in this.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is a pretty worthy cause.
Wow, that was intense.
Yeah, when I read that chapter, I didn't even read the next 2 chapters for another 2 days.
Wow.
So depressing. I was like, "No, I can't get to the next part of this yet."
Yeah. I can't imagine, like, if someone ever just stops there and never finds out
Yeah.
the end.
No, no, I
I know
knew I was
people
coming
who
back.
have I have seen because I'm on a million Facebook groups for, Fourth Wing, people who have gotten near the end of Onyx Storm and refuse to finish it.
Just
Just
for
because they don't wanna end being in the series, and I'm like, that's not how it works. If you stop reading it, you're not in the series. Like, when do they're like, I don't want the series to end." And I'm like, "Yeah, but if you stop reading the book
your
and you don't finish the book, you're still not in the series."
yeah.
But I get it. I get it. That they like knowing there's still a little more
Yeah,
happening. I don't know.
that's kinda
Okay,
funny.
we will continue. Chapter 65. Up on the top, it says, "Most generals dream of dying in service to their kingdom. But you know me better than that, my love. When I fall, it will be for one reason only, to protect our children." And this is an unsent correspondence of General Loth Sorngal. Does that mean she wrote to him after he died? Are
Yeah,
these like
I did wonder why
letters?
it wasn't why it was unsent, or maybe she had written it, like, the day he died or something and just never
Yeah,
got to
but he was
send
in
it.
the college.
Yeah, it does seem weird to write
I think she's
letters
writing letters to him after the
afterwards.
fact, yeah.
Yeah. What a
But
depressing way to start the chapter too.
yeah.
God damn.
Either that or you go, "Look at her doing exactly what she predicted. Good job."
Maybe she has prediction powers. That's
Yeah.
what that's what it all comes down to.
Okay.
Actually, everyone has 2 signets.
Yeah. So anyways, because the words have come, it's just a chorus of thudding sounds all over the college. Every wyvern has just died
Yes.
because they are not
Alive
really
the same
live
way.
creatures. They
Yeah.
are run by these runes that cannot operate within the wards.
Yeah, because the Venom don't have enough power to keep them out.
Yeah.
All of these
It doesn't kill the
things
venom, but
active.
it kills their wyvern.
And
Does
it
that mean they're all on foot?
Yeah, I guess they're all sprinting back home.
I wonder if they can run faster.
That's probably. But it does make it a lot easier to hunt them down. They said someone was hunting
Yeah,
them
yeah,
down.
yeah, they did. Anyways, and Darna says, "Please forgive me."
I said, for what? I guess not telling her? Like, I was
I think it's
scared.
because she didn't stop her mom from. No, because she asked first
Oh, okay.
Arik, who's like, "No, I would rather you live," and then she yelled at Darna, and Darna said, "No, I also chose you." So she says, "Please forgive me," and then Violet says she made a choice.
Okay, yeah, I guess that is what it would be.
And then Taryn says, "You are alive. You will live today. You will wake tomorrow." Now listen to that again, knowing that he knows what just happened.
Yeah.
So he's also telling her, by the way, "You will live today and you will wake tomorrow," like, despite what you are just about to fucking find out.
Yeah,
If
I've this
nothing else, you
book,
have that.
I have like 1,000. The last chapter somehow answers no questions and gives me like 400 questions. It's like, what?
Oh.
Anyways.
Oh. So, yeah, she's passing Mira, who's sobbing, and Brennan, who's blank. She asks the dragons about Xaden and says he lives, and she's like, "Thank you, Dune." Then she says, "That's gravity, right? He's enough to keep my feet grounded, to keep the sun rising." Then they hear that someone's taking her mom's body to the quadrant, and they emerge, and there's all this cheering, and everybody's like celebrating because
Well, they're not all gonna
they're
die.
not, whoever's still alive is not gonna die.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like looking around, like, sort of, how could everybody be celebrating? Our mom just died.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dane shows up and says Violet and then reaches towards her, then thinks twice.
I know, I was like, "Wow, he did learn." Like, he did.
Yeah.
He did remember.
Yeah. And then he starts asking, "Are you?" And then Rhiannon pushes him out of the way. "Move." And then she's like, "You got the words up." And she's all excited. And then she's like, "You should have seen it. The wyvern started falling from the sky like dead weights, and the venom panicked and ran." Yeah, they ran. Leadership is hunting them down. And then Violet's like, "Good, that's good." The others, she's like, "Riddick is all right." Imogen took a swipe at her side. Quinn had a busted cheek. I mean, these are nothing. I don't even know why we're listing these. It's like, did they battle? Yes. Do they have bruised and yeah, the blood? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
They're just heading to check on Sawyer because he's the one that obviously had the hardest time. And then she suddenly notices her expression. And she's like, Zayden. And Violet's like, alive, according to Taryn. And then she looks at Brennan and then Mira and then she gets it.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's like, my mom, the Wardstone didn't have any power and my mom, dot, dot, dot. And then
Oh.
Rhiannon hugs her, which is good because someone needs to hug her.
Yeah, and then she, like, cries for real, and
I
then it says
know.
that she's, like, feeling better.
With every tear, I feel my feet gain traction on a spinning world, feel the first waves of shock start to pass. She
I know,
needed
and
to
I'm
cry.
like, this is exactly why the quadrant shouldn't suppress their emotions about death and stuff, like,
Yeah,
there's a time and a place for grieving, and that's not in the middle of a battlefield, but
sure.
then you should have that time and place. That's what funerals are for,
Yeah.
and not just, like, burning everyone's possessions and being like, "You're never allowed to say their name again." Like, what the fuck? I cannot.
Preach.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Rhiannon asks the thing that her best friend should always ask this point, says, "What do you need?" She reaches out to Zayden, but his shields are locked up tight. She says, "I need to lay eyes on Taryn and Zayden," because she's laid eyes on Andara. So she's like, she needs to get all of her peeps,
All of her ducks.
all of her texts. And so Taryn says, "In the front." And she heads in that direction, listening to like Melgren and Devera negotiating. So I guess Devera's acting as the top leader at that moment
Yeah,
of
since
the
Brennan is, like, barely
revolution.
functioning.
Yeah. It says, pausing when I hear him laying out terms for our return.
Yeah.
And then it says,
I'm like, it's a little presumptuous, but also, like, I guess they kinda do have to return because they cannot ever get the wards up in Orisha, and now, what are they everyone's gonna know. They just
yeah,
have a
well, and that's the point.
giant
She's like,
battle.
bodies dropping all over the kingdom. There's no chance leadership can hide this. It's only a matter of hours before every Navarian citizen knows they've been lied to.
Yeah, and now they're gonna want them back.
And says, no wonder they want us to return.
Yeah. But it does seem interesting that Devara I mean, maybe Melgren just approached Devara and Devara just started talking to him, but, I mean, there's no way that she actually has the authority to do this in
No,
any
and
way,
she might
shape,
be
or
just
form.
getting yeah, you're right. She might just be getting the terms. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, give me the terms. I'm gonna have to go over it with the council because I'm not even on the goddamn council.
Yeah. I
Listen, I'm just
I just work here.
I just work here. I'm just a teacher. Jeez. Anyways, so yeah, they do have only 2 council members there because only Brennan and Zayden came. The rest of the council wasn't going to come to help. So I wonder how that really goes over. But we're not there yet because we
No, we're
have
not. But,
something
here's the
else.
thing. While the council can say this and the council can say that, at the end of the day, each rider that came are their own
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
And their dragons are their own dragons. Like, they chose to leave and they left, and if they chose to come back, it's not like I mean, leadership couldn't do anything. You think that the council could do anything? No. So, it's
yeah.
only if they wanted to fully merge, like, have everyone,
Which
including the
would just
council, come back.
probably not sound like a great idea to have everyone come back.
Considering how much they hate each other, it
Yeah,
does
I
seem like
know.
a bad idea.
Ulysses
So
shouldn't.
maybe yeah. So, I don't know, but it kinda does seem like, well, why not come back? I guess. I mean, if we can set up a few new I don't know. I don't know, I'm very interested to see if they really do come back.
Yeah. Well, we'll see because we are at the end of this book.
Yeah.
All right.
But, like, they
So
can't just go back when there's no wards and, like, just live there forever with no wards. That's so dangerous, so
especially because just because this happened doesn't mean there's not still Venin progressing their way across
yes.
Paromial towards
Yeah.
Navar.
But so I guess I'm more curious about what the Griffin riders are gonna do in the end.
Oh, good question. Okay, well, we're going to continue. Just to finish that thought, she thinks, I'm not even sure I want to come back. So, okay, we get you, Violet. We get you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
She sees Taryn and she says, are you harmed? And he says, you would know if I were. And then he looks at Andarna and she says, you two need to catch up right now.
Uh-huh.
And Taryn looks at her and she's like, right now. And then his attention fully shifts to Andarna. So he's like, what's up? And
Yeah.
then, she walks towards Gale, and she's like, "Are you gonna let me pass?"
She's so sassy.
I know. And so Gail says, "You fought well today." And she's like, "Thank you. You did too." And then so Gail says, "Yes, well, I'm expected to."
Pretty good.
And then she says, "Be careful of your words." I
Mhm.
love how Sigil's protecting Xaden here,
Even though she's pissed at him.
but she's still telling yeah, I know. There's a little bit of the love is there.
Yeah.
Anyways, my god. Oh my god, I can't I just think about what she yelled at him right before he did it, and it always hurts my heart. Okay, but
Yeah.
and then Violet says, "That's ironic coming from you," which is probably true because she's probably also not been careful for words. So
Yeah.
she's talking to Xaden now, right? And Xaden's not looking at her while she's talking. So she's like, "What happened?" And he says, "I killed him, snapped whatever tether he had on me, and killed him."
Yeah, what? That's what I mean, like, the tether thing, that is it just referring to the
The
dreams?
holding him. Oh, I thought the tether was whatever's holding up him up in the sky.
But he wasn't held up in the sky when he channeled from the ground.
Okay, whatever tether he had on me and
I
killed.
took that as, like, a mental tether, but now that you say that, I guess he did somehow get out
No,
of
but let's just say, like, if a Venom could do some what would
a general
a
who's very
general
powerful can, like, something.
okay.
That's how I took that.
Yeah, well, when we read his
And
again,
that's
his
why
POV, we can see, but
and that's why I thought about how could Zayden know these things? Well, if they have some tether, some mental tether, that could be part of it.
sure, that's a good one, that's a good one. So he's saying the body fell in the ravine, he's washing it in the river like it's gonna pop up, and I'm just like, I mean, how does he know it's dead? I just feel like you don't see a fucking body.
That is always the
You could be
rule.
the
You
one
need to
running too.
yeah.
Anyways, she says, "I'm sorry I wasn't here," and she reaches for his hand, but he tugs it away.
Yeah, and I'm like, "No, this is not a good
Not good.
it's not good."
She's like, he says, "I'm not. You saved us." And she says, "My mother saved us." She had Sloane siphon Asmir's power, Amser's power, and both their life's energies into
Yeah.
the war.
So it would be.
Yeah, for both of them. She's gone. And then he closes his eyes at this point and says, "I'm so fucking sorry." Because he is
Uh-huh.
sorry. And he probably wishes he could just be normal and take her in his arms and,
Ugh.
give her love. But and she says, "She killed your father. Why would he be sorry?" And he says, "I didn't want her dead. I could never want anyone you loved dead."
Oh.
So she says, "Melvin wants us to come back." She's like trying to figure out why it's so like uncomfortable right now, like not like relax. And he says, "Well, then we'll come back. Arisha's wards are already weakening and these are intact, which you'll explain to me later, right?" And then he like looks at her, but looks away quickly. And she thinks like I'm painful to look at.
I know, and I was like, "This is not a good sign. This is not a
No.
good sign at all." And I was just like, "I God."
Yeah. Yeah, and of course he wants her into the wards. That's where he wants her. He wants her where it's safe. He says, "You won't be as scared under the full wards."
Uh-huh. I just wrote, "I don't wanna be right."
And then she says, "I just fought an entire Wyvern army, dark wielders and raised wards, losing my mother in the process. Please do tell me what possibly could be scarier than that." And then he says, "You love me." She's like, "You
Oh.
know I do." And her stomach's twisting. Violet's like, "What's out there that I should be scared of, Xaden? What did he tell you? What did you see?" And she thinks, what could he know that has him this shaken? So
Mhm.
slowly his eyes come up, which it doesn't really work that way, by the way. If their
No.
eyes are slowly coming up,
Well, I guess we
you
don't
can
know
still
where the
see the
red
person's
is.
eyes.
Is it, like, around their pupil?
You don't have to wait until someone looks at you to see their eyes.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well,
It's very
maybe
dramatic.
but it's very faint, almost indistinguishable, so
Okay,
maybe
maybe.
maybe.
Maybe. I need to see this in the TV show. Okay, when he finally does, I gasp, my hand tightening on his in reflex. No, that single word is all I can think, feel, scream internally as I stare up at the man I'm hopelessly in love with. "Me," he whispers, a
Oh my
faint,
god.
almost indistinguishable red ring emanating from his gold-flecked onyx irises. "You should be scared of me." This is not as fun as when Edward tells Bella. That's a little bit more fun.
No, this is
This
bad.
is not good.
I just said he better have a good reason, and he does,
It does make you
mostly.
wonder
Could he have just
if
waited?
the guy was just was it called calling his bluff? Like, was
Yeah.
he just did he want Xaden that badly to turn Venom that he would have just let him die? Or if Xaden was just like, "Oh, yeah? Watch me just die," if he would have stopped him from dying? Like, I don't know. Like, how bad do they want Xaden?
I don't know. It just
'Cause this whole thing, if you read his point
I
of
know.
view, he is being taunted.
Yeah.
So,
When I turned the page and I saw that it was a Xaden chapter, I screamed. I screamed louder than when I found out he was a Bennett. I was like, "Oh my god, it's a Xaden chapter!" Even despite everything, I was so excited. And then this chapter is kind of confusing. What is with the like lack of time jump? It's like
No,
suddenly
this is
he's in
his
this
this is his dream. He's dreaming what exactly happened.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of figured, but how extremely jarring it is to go from like, and then I channel, and then I'm looking at Violet in our bed. I'm like, what? Where are we? What is
No.
happening? Was any of this real? I'm so confused.
You're not alone at all. When it went like that too, I also went like, "Why is she sleeping in bed with him?"
Yes, I was like, wait, is this the present or the past?
Was
What are
that
we
fake?
remembering?
Yeah, like, it was, like, really confusing. So I
Not clear at all.
totally understood.
Could have just given us a time jump, like, a break in
Could've.
the paragraphs.
Yeah, or 2 small Zayden POVs. Yeah, I don't know. It was very weird. It
I'm
was
so confused.
and there was so many questions like, "Wait, did she not figure out that he was
Yeah.
pregnant?" Like, I was very confused why she was in bed with him.
Like, I mean, I assumed that he explained what happened and, like,
Well,
you can forgive him,
I
but,
wanna
like,
know that conversation. Like, why don't we
I
I want
know,
her to
please.
say, like, "Zayden, I trust you, and we're gonna figure this out, and I'm not gonna leave you because I love you desperately." That's what she would've said.
Yeah, probably, I guess, like, it's so hard to gauge her
I know.
reactions. It's like she either hates him for, like, a week, she hates him for half a year, or she's in bed with him the next day. Like, who knows?
Yeah. Well, we always vote for bed. But anyways,
Yeah.
chapter 66. Of course it's 66.
I know.
Just need one more. And it says on the top, we have tried every method we know of as you requested. There is no cure. There is only control. And this is a missive from Lieutenant Colonel Nolan Colesbury, which is Nolan, and we just never knew his last name,
Right.
to General Lilith Sorengale
So that means she did know.
that Jack was a venom.
Yes.
That's what I get from it, and that he's saying, like, we tried to cure him. So maybe they found a venom and they were like, because it was Jack, they're like, let's see if we can experiment and see if you can cure venom.
Yeah.
Is that what you get from that?
I mean, if you
And they're
read
like, no. So the control is basically the stuff they give him. The what's it
yes,
called? The potion.
the potion.
It's another word.
The
but yeah.
potion. Major spoiler warning for Throne of Glass.
Okay. Major spoiler warning for Throne of Glass.
But we learned that the healers can heal the bad guys in that series. They can basically remove the evil like parasite from them and turn them back to who they were before. So this isn't like a crazy thought of like maybe you can just heal the venom out of them.
Yeah. It's not a crazy thought.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're back. I don't know how anybody's gonna know how far to go to not have a major spoiler, but
It was short. They just skipped ahead.
they just skip. So yeah, so they were trying to find a cure. Okay, we are in Zayden's point of view, and we are in the scene where he is fighting the venom. Okay,
Uh-huh.
he can feel Segal's terror, and as he's being hung suspended mere feet above battlefield, muscles frozen, power locked uselessly. This is an intense power. This
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a something. Well, this the general could do this. Now, remember the other venom that wasn't a general that was just a sage that
Did this kind of to Violet earlier?
Darna killed?
Yeah.
She was also up in the ground and her power was locked. So maybe because it wasn't until he no.
Yeah. Was her power locked?
I don't remember that, but she was definitely up in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So this is these I think the sages and the generals are very, very dangerous.
Definitely.
And it says right here, I was never a match for him. None of us are.
Yeah.
So he realizes like these guys are too fucking powerful. So he's in a lot of pain. He had like almost like overdone it already with wielding and stuff at this point. And so the sage, it says the stage, we find out later, general, says it hurts, doesn't it? Nearing burnout. Magic does like everything in balance. Take too much and she'll consume you for overstepping, which is a good example of magic liking everything in balance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like trying to like get out of it and stuff. And the sage is like, you strike, I block, you throw, I dodge. And then he's just like sighing like it's nothing. And then it says, just like my fucking nightmares.
Right. And I was like, oh, so him too.
So
Interesting.
he was having that nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the sweat dripping down his back reminds him that this is very much his reality. So I guess he doesn't sweat in his dreams, which is kind of nice. He's thinking about Violet and like trying to pick off the wyverns that are tearing into Segal, you know?
Yeah.
I do wonder a little bit if like part of attacking Segal would have also been maybe part of a
Strategic strike.
to
Yeah.
get him to turn as well, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's like, "I'm gonna give you the one last chance to make the right choice so we can get this over with." And he's like, "I told you that once you turn for love, and so you shall." Now, where did we hear this before?
He said this to Violet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Xaden says, "You don't know shit about me." And then he's like, "I know more than you think." And then this is when he goes, "Because you're a sage?" And he goes, "A sage? I am a general."
Yeah, but also we do get this moment where we learn that where Violet grounds herself in the archives, he grounds himself on a hillside in Tyrrendor,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
which is kind of cute.
Yeah, that's true. We find out what his grounding space looks like.
Yeah.
But how do you close doors on a hillside in Toronto? Like, see, hers
Well,
has doors.
that's yeah. I mean, that's just her imagination.
Yeah, he just has some other way to close it off, obviously.
Yeah.
You made some kind of note to the fact that fire races down his arms. I think that's just him burning out.
Yeah, I thought it was real fire for like a minute. And
Okay,
I was
got
like,
it.
what is happening? I was so confused. I'm
I
like,
got it.
wait, what? And then I was like, oh, burnout.
Burnout. It's
Oh,
just the
okay.
fire of the burnout. Yeah.
Whoopsies.
He is like trying to grab the guy with his, shadows, but his shadows aren't doing anything. Because he says generals die the same as soldiers, but the guy just laughs and says, "Do they? Come on, Shadow Wielder, turn. It's the only way to save her." And so this is where we kind of get the idea. I think in the book, it's the first one where he's like telling him to turn.
Yeah.
No, he says turn before that.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
he said they'll turn for love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks she's going to sacrifice herself to save me. She intends to die, right?
Right. So that's when he is feeling her.
Yeah.
So that must be when she's still touching the wardstone.
Yeah, and then the general says, "What will happen when you fail? I'll step over your dead body and find her. Then I'll wrap my hands around her delicate little neck." Yeah, so he's like taunting
Yeah.
and drain her. I don't know. I still feel this guy was bluffing a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that they really, really, I mean, they want Xaden, but don't
Do
they
they
want
want Xaden
Violet
or do they want
more?
Violet? Do they want to open her up and see where the lightning comes from? Because that's not how that works. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
And then so this is when it
Then
says, "I
delves into
slam
the
one hand onto the ground, clench." Oh, okay. So he slams his hand on the ground, but he's still not doing it. So he delves into the depths of Sigil's power and lets the fire consume him.
So that must be right
It's-
then when he's delving into
That's
his
where
own
maybe
power or
she
Sigil's
feels.
power. And yeah, that must be when she checks it on him, right?
I think maybe it is.
Because there's never a point here where you hear her say fight.
No, you're right.
So
He
maybe he
doesn't.
just doesn't get that message.
Yeah, but see, there's this whole part right earlier in the beginning of his point of view where it says every nerve in my body screams from the pain of incineration, the heat from wielding too much. That could also be the point where she felt that too.
No, because what I'm saying is when she reaches out to feel how he's doing,
Is it?
she has already been healed by Brennan.
Oh, okay.
So he wouldn't then later feel her
Okay. So
slipping.
then it has to be this point then.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So while his hand's on the ground, so he's thinking like, "I'll be damned if Violet suffers the consequences. He won't get his hand on her, not today, da da da." Then he feels the power beneath him, right? And he
Uh-huh.
feels that unmistakable power. And this is when Sigil shrieks, "You cannot. I chose you." I don't know why that hurts. I don't know why
It's
that
just
just
so sad,
yeah.
yeah.
And then he thinks, "But Violet chose me too." And then
Oh,
he reaches for the power. But then we don't get to find out exactly what happens at that point. Like, I
no,
can
like,
just
how
imagine
does
the
he
sage
kill
or
this
the general
general?
going down into the rabbit laughing, like Joker.
Yeah, like, was the general really okay with sacrificing himself just to get Xaden?
Yeah.
Or did he not think that Xaden could beat
And
him?
we don't get to know, so we don't get to really see, like, can we believe
That
what
he's dead.
yeah, like, we don't get to see that because it says, "I reach," and then boom, he's
With
awake. He
no
wakes up with
break in the paragraph. My heart stammers and I gasp for air, jolting upright in bed. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean?
It should have just said, "This whole thing's a dream," and then you'll be like, "What?" No, joking.
I know. I was like, well, I mean, but it can't be because Violet just saw his eyes. Or I have so many questions.
No. It was so weird.
Yeah.
But he's, not he just checks to make sure he's still alive, I guess. And then he says, "Just Violet sleeping beside me, her cheek resting on the pillow, her breaths deep and even thanks to the exhaustion that's left bruises under her eyes." So she's sleeping next to this
Venom.
Venom. I watch her long enough to
Hold on. I don't know
Oh,
what
yeah.
that is, but it's very loud.
Yeah, he's sort of just staring at her and thinking he almost locked her and she's so beautiful. And when I read this the first time, I was like, why? What happened? Did someone erase her memories? Why is she laying there?
I mean,
You're a venom.
I just assumed I don't know. I was like, well, I guess if he only did it once. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy because he does it one single time but it says it faded. I'm just thinking about how Jack got away, like, with us not noticing his red eyes more consistently.
Yeah, because they fade.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
until they don't.
we'll find out more, obviously, because guess what? He is next book.
Then he's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
So we get to
"I know
find
all
out.
this stuff."
We get to find out all about Venom. Okay, so she leaves the room, and then he tries to reach out for Sigale, but she's been eerily silent since the battle ended.
Yeah, well, that's kind of fair.
I don't know what she's thinking.
But she's like, "How am I supposed to just keep on?"
What am I doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I would be at a loss for what to do too.
Yeah. So basically what happens here is he goes past like all the, cadets that are in the like infirmary area and he basically is walking. He mentions like the last time he walked those stairs, he just murdered everyone who stood between me and Violet. So it's going towards the dungeons or
Mhm.
that's what they're called. And then he says it's ironic that the cell I end up standing in front of now so that was the same cell, but this one is holding Jack fucking Barlow.
Yeah, and I was like, I guess for advice or something.
It's the last person I'd want to talk to.
Yeah, it does seem
And it doesn't seem
terrible.
to be very helpful here. So Jack says, "You look good. You here to dose me? Pretty sure I'm not due until tomorrow morning." So obviously he can't venonish. He can't, what's the verb for venening? He can't suck power out of the ground because he's being dosed. So it must also stop that.
Yeah, but also just cuts off your power. You can't reach your dragon. Like
It
the
cuts all
solution
magic.
cannot be, oh, we'll just give this to Zayden.
No, obviously no. But I'm just saying
I
that
know.
that's how Jack can just be. Otherwise, he would just sit on the ground in the cell and just suck everything up until everybody's dead in the castle.
Yeah,
Maybe. We don't know how far they can go with the wards. We know that he can do something, so maybe it's not that much.
probably wouldn't be that much.
Yeah, because he can't be that powerful. But anyway, so obviously he's being dosed, and then Zayden says, "What's the cure?" And Jack says, "For the serum, the antidote." And then Zayden says, "You know what I fucking mean. Tell me what the cure is, and I won't send for the ribostad chest that will hold you in the air until you mummify." And then Jack says, "Cures are for diseases. What we have is power, and that, dear Ryerson, isn't curable." And then Zayden says, "Bullshit. There's a way to get rid of this." And then Jack smiles wider and says, "Oh no, there's no cure. You can never give back what's taken. You'll only hunger for more." Kind of like it's like, being on like a really powerful drug or something.
Yeah.
And then Zayden says, "I'd rather die than become one of you." And he's like actually getting scared here because he can feel the power beneath his feet, like it's calling his name.
Mm-hmm.
Says the craving to sate the need for it. And then Jack says, "And yet you just did." And then he says, "All this time you've been convincing everyone you're the hero, and now you'll be the villain, especially in her story. Welcome to our fucked up family. Guess we're brothers now."
I hate that. I don't like that line at all.
I know, and that's how we ended
That's the
the
worst
book.
line ever.
Just think about all those poor people like myself who had no second book to read and had to end on that.
Third book.
Sorry, third book.
Yeah. No, it's a really depressing ending.
I know.
So, did they just not tell anyone else? Because how else is he allowed to just? I mean,
Wait. Who, what?
there's no way that the other people in the college know that Zayden's a Venom, or he would not be sleeping in a bed. He'd be sleeping in a cell next to Jack.
You're obviously.
So, obviously, they didn't tell anyone else.
Right. But now Jack knows, and I want to know why we let Jack know.
I feel
Is
like
he
Jack
going to
would
just tell
already
the
know
next person? But why wouldn't he just tell everybody? Anyways, we don't have the answers to that because
because they wouldn't betray
I do
a
believe
Venom.
that answer is in the book 3, and I don't remember the answer. So
It must just be like, I mean, to him, they're brothers now. He can't sell him out because he's valuable, and even though
It's-
he's trying to
I
fight
mean,
it now
they tried hard
to get him. So
Zayden to
yeah, so
turn.
why would they then want him to be
Yeah.
killed or
But there's the
sedated?
question. Is Jack getting information through some sort of bond?
Well, he says, "Welcome to the family. We're brothers now." That
Yeah,
sounds
what
like
does
some
that
kind of
mean?
bond to me.
It's a cult.
To be honest, yeah, for real. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, what a terrible ending to this book. There better be a cure, I guess. Or book 3 will be like, actually, the Venom aren't that bad. And they're just kidding. Remember when it was like the Promish citizens were like or
Yeah, the
people
bad
were
ones.
like the
It's like,
bad
no,
guys?
it's really not the promotion. It's the Venom. And then we're gonna find out something worse.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Violet's like, oh, I guess I'll just be a Venom
Like
then.
that book I used to read when you were a kid about the fly went by, remember? And
Oh.
every animal was running after the one before, and they're all just running from the animal before. So now it's the Venom are really just coming into their territory because of the bigger, badder people.
Exactly, and you have to become a Venom to fight the bigger, better people.
That's right.
So it'll all work out, I'm sure.
Sounds like a great next book.
I don't know, but I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on that very depressing note, we have finished Iron Flame, which is good in the fact that we can start Onyx Storm now, bad in the fact that Xaden is a venom.
Yeah,
And our next episode will be a little like a review of what her predictions were for Iron Flames, what came true, what didn't come true, we're still waiting for, and also maybe some stuff on like, okay, we talked about this. Now that you have all the data you have, what do you think about it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So a good recap episode before we get into Onyx Storm, the first chapters of it, which I can't even imagine how it's gonna start. Like, is it gonna be a giant time jump, or is it just gonna be like Violet wakes up and Xaden's not in bed? Like, or is it gonna start from like a Rhiannon point of view chapter? Like, it's really you never know with these books.
Yeah, we won't know until we read it. So, which will happen soon, but you still have to wait for a little bit. Now, we love it when you guys review our podcast. This review is from Jennifer Jasenia Quezada, and I was wondering if Jasenia is that her really middle name? That was really cool, or if it was like a kind of part of a username because of Jasenia. But anyways, I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
She says, I love your podcast. I wanted to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, but I just can't seem to find a way to do it. I've read all books, and my friend is just getting into them now. We're listening to your podcast as we reread the series together, and it's making the books feel exciting all over again. The two of you make me want to go back and reread all of my Kindle books. I have hard copies too, but I like to keep those in good condition because I hope my son will read them someday. He's just starting to get the hang of reading. And hearing the way you both bring the books to life makes the stories feel so exciting and real. Thank you for doing the podcast. I listen while I'm at work, while I'm driving, and whenever I get the chance. It's just so good.
Yes, and she reached out to us on Instagram because, like she said, she was having trouble finding the way
Leaving
to
it, yeah,
review.
which works. That's
Which is
fine.
fine. A great
Yeah,
reminder that we do have socials at First Wing Pod, Instagram and Threads, so you can always
reach out
reach out
there.
to us there.
If you're like listening on Apple Podcasts and you click on the name of our podcast where it says First Swing, Fourth Wing Podcast, it takes you to our like podcast page, you could say, which is like a list of all of our episodes. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that list, that's where you can leave a review. It has like other reviews and it says leave a review, and that's where you can click it. So it's the very bottom of that page.
Yes, so
Yeah.
hopefully that helps.
Really appreciate your review.
We also have a Discord, which I always put the link in the description of the episode. It is a great way to chat with us every day, talk about the new book that just got announced, talk about the TV show casting. We've now added a new channel just about the TV show.
Yeah.
Just all of that fun stuff.
Yeah,
It's
any
a good
thoughts,
place.
any whatever. It has been, we've been having a great time in there. There's all sorts of things. Poor Brianna doesn't get to be in the spoiler channel because there's probably a lot more in the spoiler channel than in hers, but that's okay.
I'll get there one day.
Yeah,
I'll
she'll
get
get
to
there.
go back.
Go back and look at it. I don't know if you're gonna wanna look at everything, but it's fun. Come join us.
Yes. Next episode, we'll be doing the recap of Iron Flame.
Yeah.
So join us next time, writers.
Okay, bye.
Bye.